we have an update. Black woman who received a settlement now gets death threats. She got a $280,000 settlement approved. Put up the picture for a mass. Interesting story, but this is the America we are in. Chicago woman whose tooth was knocked out of her mouth by a white cop receives racist death threats just one day after the city approved a $280,000 settlement. That settlement should have been more, in my opinion, but it is what it is. So a Chicago activist who just received $280,000 in a settlement after she was struck in the face by an officer during a 2020 protest received a racist death threat just one day after the city council granted her the payout. So here's what happened in 2020. Miracle Boyd, Miss Boyd, was 18 when she attended a 1,000-person protest at Grant Park, where demonstrators were trying to knock down a Christopher Columbus statue. As tensions flared during the protest, Boyd began filming an officer making a violent arrest. The cop saw Miss Boyd, knocked her phone out of her hand, and then hit her in the face so hard that the blow knocked out one of her teeth. The city's Civilian Police Accountability Committee found that the officer did in fact use excessive force and also made false statements about the assault, stating that he, quote, grossly mischaracterized what happened when he filed an incident report, okay? The cop resigned from his job in 2022 after the board recommended he be terminated from his position. Boyd filed a lawsuit against the cop who and two other cops in federal court. Last year, the Chicago City Council approved the settlement to resolve the complaint for more than $250,000. This was on March 12th. So a day after the social justice organization Good Kids, Mad City, where Boyd works, received a letter addressed to the activists, according to the tribe who obtained the copy. The first line read, quote, Miracle Boyd deserves to be knocked unconscious and be hanged from a tree, adding that, quote, she got what she deserved, referring to the attack in 2020. The letter also included slurs and profanities aimed at Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson, okay? Quote, F that N-word Mayor Brandon Johnson. Hopefully, President Donald Trump puts that piece of ish in a cage, just like the ape in the movie Trading Spaces. The letter reads, an apparent reference to the 1983 Eddie Murphy comedy Trading Places. The threat didn't have the sender's name or return address. A postmark indicated that the United States Postal Service received the mail on March 11th in the Chicago suburb of Carroll Streams, Illinois, the tribe reports. So Ms. Boyd issued a statement as well. Boyd said that she will not let the vitriol affect her, especially when she's preparing to give birth to her first child in May. Quote, I'm not letting it get to me because I'm strong and brave. I'm brave enough to know to make smart decisions, but it seems like my safety is on the line. And I'm about to bring a child into the world that people just are not going to accept, Boyd said. I still have a whole community of folks who will support me, my first child, and everything else that comes with it. There you go. And you have this community as well, supporting you 100%. Thank you for being brave. I hope there's an investigation pending. The first place to investigate would be law enforcement, because law enforcement, they are the ones who have the motive. If this were any other entity that you had just won a settlement against and you received a death threat immediately after winning a settlement against said entity, that said entity, which has motive, will be the first entity to be investigated. So I hope they are investigating how, why, and if the police were involved. Another dynamic, you are in good company. Dear sister, you are in good company. Anytime racist bigots are upset at you because you fight racist bigots, you are doing the right thing. that is how it's supposed to happen. If racist bigots were not upset at you, you're not doing it right. All right, Jackson, thoughts here.
Racism is like or like fungal spores that just you can't ever really get rid of it. It seems like it's just part of the human condition. All we can ever do is try to make a more equitable society more and more, but it's just part of our division and our tribalism rearing its ugly head. But I mean, how can you really be mad at this woman for winning a settlement for
Right.
what happened? Like, I mean, this isn't even an issue where it's like, oh, this isn't fair. The police were right, or there's some type of room for doubt. Like she got smashed in the face. Like there's no, I mean, what are so? But we live in a climate now that really fosters this type of energy, and in a lot of ways, this is what MAGA is all about. So unfortunately, we're gonna have a lot more of this over the next 4 years, and hopefully, it doesn't escalate too big. But it's not looking good.
Yeah. But if it does, we're here and we will go nowhere.